And I definitely jumped into another relationship so fast, it got my mind away from stuff.
Kim Kardashian has been married 3 times, and she was done with the first one before most people had ever heard her name. Think about the range here. A music producer she eloped with in Las Vegas at 19, an NBA player whose marriage to her lasted less time than a school term, and a rapper who gave her 4 children and then spent the divorce campaigning for her back on the internet in front of the entire world. Add in the football players, the comedian who had her name put on his chest, the Formula 1 champion currently posting her on Instagram, and underneath all of it, one relationship from the early 2000s that is still generating court filings right now in 2026, more than 20 years later. That is what makes her history different from her sisters. Kim's exes did not just fade away. They wrote essays. They gave interviews. They filed lawsuits. Several of them are still talking. She is 45 now, and she has said she hopes the next wedding is her last and final hoorah. Let us go through how she got here, because the very first one is the one nobody remembers. Kim Kardashian married the music producer Damon Thomas in Las Vegas when she was 19 years old, and almost nobody knew it happened at the time. He was 29 and half of the Grammy-winning production duo, The Underdogs. She was a teenager with a famous surname and no career of her own yet. Years later, she explained the whole thing on television with one line that became instantly legendary. She said she did ecstasy once and she got married. Iconic delivery. Genuinely funny.
I did ecstasy once and I got married. I did it again. I made a sex tape. Everything bad would happen.
Thomas did not find it funny. He pushed back publicly and called the claim irresponsible, pointing out that you do not stay married to somebody for 4 or 5 years based on one night of getting high. Fair, honestly. It lasted until 2004, which is a real marriage by any measure. He has since said he holds no ill will toward her, and that he is proud of her, which is a level of grace most exes never reach. And when it ended, she had nothing. She has told the story of Khloe handing her a piggy bank with about $6,000 in it so she could afford an apartment. $6,000. Sit with that, because within 3 years, she would be the most photographed woman in America, and the reason why is still in court today. Kim Kardashian and her mother filed a defamation lawsuit against Ray J in late 2025, and the case is still moving through the courts right now. Quick background for anyone who somehow missed the last 20 years. Kim dated the singer Ray J in the early 2000s. In 2003, they filmed a private tape while on holiday in Mexico. It surfaced in 2007. She sued the company that put it out, then dropped the suit and settled. That timing is the part people never get over. It landed weeks before her family's show premiered. Now, here's where it stands today, and I am going to be careful because this is live litigation.
We've filmed everything from deliveries to marriages, divorces. We, have always stayed true to who we are.
Kim and Chris sued Ray J over public claims he made about them, saying he offered no evidence and that it damaged her reputation. Ray J filed back, claiming there was an earlier confidential agreement worth $6 million where nobody was ever supposed to discuss the tape again, and that they broke it by continuing to reference it on their show. Kim's side has not confirmed that figure. The judge has allowed her defamation claims to move forward toward trial. Ray J's lawyer says they will appeal, and his counterclaim went to private arbitration. The trial is not expected until 2028, 25 years after that holiday, and it is still being argued about in a courtroom. Reggie Bush met Kim Kardashian at the ESPY Awards in 2007, and their relationship became one of the first big storylines on her family's show. She was 26. He was a Heisman-winning running back playing for the New Orleans Saints, and he was genuinely famous in his own right, which was not yet true of her. They lasted roughly 3 years, on and off. What ended it was not drama, it was geography and timing. He was in Louisiana for the season. She was in Los Angeles building an empire, and they were not in the same place on marriage and children. He resurfaced briefly to comfort her after her next marriage collapsed, which was kind of him given how that one went. Bush married the dancer Lilith Avagyan in 2014, 3 children, still together, which quietly makes him the least chaotic person on this entire list. Remember that, because the man who came next made history for all the wrong reasons. Kris Humphries married Kim Kardashian in August 2011 in front of 440 guests, and she filed for divorce 72 days later. The wedding was enormous. Montecito, Vera Wanggaun, walked down the aisle by Bruce Jenner, and the whole thing aired as a television special. Then it was over before the leaves changed, and Humphries did not go quietly. He sought an annulment on the grounds of fraud, alleging the marriage had been staged for ratings and reportedly wanted $7 million as a share of the show's income. Kim denied it and testified that she genuinely loved him. On eve of the trial, he dropped the fraud claim and agreed to a divorce. Here's the number that still makes me laugh. The legal conflict lasted 543 days. The marriage lasted 72. So the divorce took more than 7 times longer than the marriage did. She had to give the ring back too. It went at auction and sold for $749,000, well over its estimate. Years later, he wrote publicly that he had hoped the marriage was forever, which is genuinely sad to read. 11 days after the divorce was finalized, she gave birth to her first child, with someone else entirely. Kim Kardashian married Kanye West at a Renaissance fortress in Florence in May 2014, and for a while they were the most powerful couple on the planet. They had been friends for years before it turned into anything. He proposed at a baseball stadium in San Francisco. They had 4 children together: North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm, with the youngest 2 born by a surrogate after she went through serious complications. For most of the last decade, they were the culture: fashion, music, television, all of it running through one household. Then it came apart, and it came apart loudly. She filed in early 2021. What followed was a lengthy public campaign for me asking her to come back, playing out across social media and in his music while she stayed almost entirely silent. The divorce was finalized in late 2022. He agreed to pay $200,000 a month in child support. They shared joint custody with equal access, and reporting suggests the children are with Kim the large majority of the time. Her position now is remarkably calm. She told Complex earlier this year that they will always be family and that they want what is best for their kids. He married Bianca Censori about a month after the divorce closed. Pete Davidson dated Kim Kardashian for 9 months, and he committed to it harder than anyone else on this list. They met when she hosted Saturday Night Live and packed in a sketch. By November, they were together, and by the following spring, they were walking the Met Gala carpet. Then came the tributes, a tattoo reading that his girl is a lawyer, and her name branded onto his chest, which is not a tattoo. That is a permanent mark burned into skin. Absolutely unhinged behavior. Also weirdly romantic. I do not know what to do with it either. It ended in the summer of 2022 over distance and schedules. Amicable, by all accounts. She has since called it a rebound while also calling him the sweetest, most thoughtful person, which is a very generous way to describe a rebound. He had a daughter with a model Elsie Hewitt at the end of last year. There was also a quiet stretch with the NFL player Odell Beckham Jr. that neither of them ever really confirmed. Low-key fizzled out, they stayed friends. Then she said she was single and content. And then New Year's happened. Lewis Hamilton posted Kim Kardashian on Instagram in July 2026, and that was the moment it stopped being a rumor. They had actually known each other for over a decade before anything shifted. Then they turned up at the same New Year's party in Aspen, and after that the sightings came thick and fast. A weekend in the Cotswolds, Paris, the Super Bowl in February, Tokyo, Coachella, Malibu, Monaco. The whole grid schedule, basically. Then he simply posted a carousel from a lake with 3 words: "Hold your people close." She left a heart in the comments. Kris Jenner liked it, obviously. They have posted together again since, and sources describe it as increasingly serious. And look at where that lands her. 19 and eloping in Vegas with $6,000 in a piggy bank, to 45, running schemes, raising 4 children, and dating a 7-time world champion who went public with a photo instead of a press release. She said she wants the next one to be the last one.